Police are combing through Shallcross, Durban this afternoon for clues to yesterday's 3 gruesome murders. 1 person has been shot dead and 2 people beheaded and their bodies burnt. Dasen Thathiah is following this story for us. He joins us now live. So, Dasen, given how bad this situation and story is, you'd think police have made some sort of arrest by now, but how's that looking?
Well, Shahan, I can tell you that there has been at least one positive development, and that's that the case docket has now been handed over to the Provincial Organised Crime Unit. In fact, just behind me there, that's the house of Dasen Thathiah, probably better known as Teddy Mafia, as those in the community and those around here know him by. They were speaking to the family. They're just trying to get more clarity on exactly what transpired here at this home and outside the home yesterday. As you mentioned, it's still almost difficult to wrap our minds around the violence that took place here. Firstly, in the killing of Pillay at his home, and then secondly, in the beheading and burning of his alleged attackers just here outside his home, just across the road, in fact, probably a few meters away from where I'm standing now. To add to that, there was quite a bit of hostility that was coming from the community towards police. They were very protective of Pillay. Some have described him as a leader. They say that he's protected them, he's helped them. But police have said that he's been on the wrong side of the law many times, both for drug-related crimes, last year for being in possession of unlicensed firearms. He was out on bail at the time of his murder. But let me bring Brigadier Jay Naika into the conversation now. Jay, firstly, let's just talk about what's happened overnight in this investigation. Surely it must be one of your priorities, considering that there is quite a bit of attention focused on this case and just the level of violence that we've seen on the streets in broad daylight.
Absolutely. From what happened yesterday, the Provincial Commissioner, in his wisdom, decided that this docket needs to be investigated by the Provincial Organised Crime Unit. So we have our best detectives, or some of the best detectives in the province on this case. Remember, we're looking at 3 counts of murder here. It's not just one murder, it's 3 counts of murder. And detectives from the Provincial Organised Crime Unit found it necessary, because they were not here yesterday, to speak to the family just to get a more clear picture in terms from their point of view what happened inside the house and what followed.
Jay, many people are speculating at this point that it could be a drug turf war. Is there any further clarity on that?
Look, at this stage it's still too early to tell, but obviously that will be one of the issues that we'll be looking into, and I'm sure the detectives will be probing that angle also.
And further to that, one of the questions that I think is on many people's minds here is that if Teddy Mafia was, as many have said, a known drug dealer involved in so many illegal activities, how is it that someone like that, if many of those allegations are in fact true, has been allowed to live and operate in this area with such control?
Yes, absolutely. He's been arrested a number of times in police. Despite the fact that we had challenges, this community protected him. They always sheltered him from, and whenever police operations were conducted, he was alerted by the community. But nevertheless, he was being arrested on a number of occasions by police for drug possession, for illegal possession of firearms, as well as on one occasion found with large sums of cash. And those matters are being investigated at a very high level by the Hawks, and I believe he's out on bail on those matters. He was out on bail on those matters.
I just want to show our viewers what's happening behind us now with that activity at the house while I continue this conversation with you. Talk to me more broadly, Jay, about the ongoing drug-related crimes that are taking place in this area and whether police in fact have a handle on it.
Look, the drugs issues in this area is always going to be a challenge because of the high level of drug usage. This Chatsworth has been the most lucrative market. If you remember years back, there was actually a very, very dangerous turf war that was taking place between drug dealers in this area that were fighting for this market, including players from outside of Chatsworth that wanted to move into the market. There were a lot of arrests, and it subsequently subsided, but it never stopped because, as I said, the Chatsworth drug market, or the drug trade in Chatsworth, has been very lucrative, and drug dealers, and we're convinced that it will still continue. So we need to just up our games. There's many units from within the SAPS, other police agencies, the Hawks that are investigating drug issues in this area, so we'll need to continue pushing. We cannot take our foot off the pedal.
I think a pressing question right now, Jay, as we wrap this up, is how safe are those that live around you, particularly children that play in the streets, if this is in fact anything related to that, such as a drug turf war, or if there's going to be any further attacks? What are police going to be doing?
Look, as I said, we've put our best detectives on this case, and we hope to resolve this case as soon as possible. In the interim, our visible policing has been heightened in this area. We are just appealing to, well, I must say that since yesterday, a lot of information has been coming forward from the community, and our detectives are going to be probing each and every piece of information that comes to them, which is positive, and we will ask the community to continue to contact us. They can do so anonymously through Crime Stop, which is 08600 10111, or they can do it via the MySAPS app.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Jay Naika Shahan. It sounds like this is going to be a lengthy investigation, particularly as the police are also going to be relying on input from the community. And as I mentioned yesterday, there was quite a bit of hostility. In the past, there's also been many people that have opted to protect Teddy Mafia and anyone related to him. So hopefully there will be some kind of development soon. As I mentioned, the detectives are inside interviewing the family, and hopefully they will be giving them information which can help lead to the arrests of those responsible for this triple murder.
So, Dasen, given that this might have been a retaliation, do we know anything more about the two people who were actually beheaded?
Well, at this point, we understand that those two people that were here right now, it's not clear where they've come from, but it would appear just from some of the information that we've received as well that they may have been known to Pillay, and that may have been one of the reasons why they were able to get that close to the house. It's understood that he's normally quite protected. But as to the motive or why they were here and how they got here, that's something that the police investigation will still have to uncover.
Yeah, it's a shocking story, isn't it? We're going to leave it right there. Dasen Thathiah is in Durban.